Chiefs, Kingdom ACU crew, welcome back. It's the Wednesday War Room. We're having another live podcast for that ass. Steve, what's going on?
Not much, my man. Ready for this playoff game to get started Saturday night. I'm ready for that. We gotta get. It's time for the Chiefs to get right at the right time, baby.
I'm ready. I'm tired of talking about it. It's only Wednesday. I feel like
we haven't even talked about it, Mike.
We've not even
talked about it, and you're tired of talking about it.
Just ready to go get it. Go get it. It's going to be they're saying -9, -10. It's going to be insane. We've got guys in the chat already talking about having the blue balls. It's so cold in KC. Snow on the ground. Dude, Miami fans are already on here. Have you seen them? They've been throwing a fit, crying on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it.
But they're not
trying
moving
to get
the
them to move the game. They want to go to Indy in a dome. No. Shut up.
Man, okay, I see this a couple of different ways. First of all, you're not moving the game. That's stupid. But at the same time, I do think it might be a bit of a stretch to like everyone is giving KC the 100% lock win because it's going to be cold outside. I don't think you can do that either. We've seen the Chiefs play this year. I don't know if you can be 100% confident in any game, in any situation. I am, however, confident the Chiefs are going to win. But I just don't think it's like a lock like people are saying. I don't like that. It's like every sports analyst, everyone I've talked to about the game, it's like they're automatically giving the win to the Chiefs, right?
Yeah, let's stop jinxing it. I think they're doing it on purpose. They like to jinx the Chiefs. But I tell you what,
I get that vibe too.
The Kingdom, we're horned up right now. Look, I feel like everybody knows that Chiefs playoff football is just a different beast. And I think that we all have faith that with Patrick Mahomes back there, with Andy Reid, Kelce taking a week off, getting his body right, hopefully getting that mind right, that he's going to come out and we're just going to click. I think that's what we hope for in our hearts. But I think our heads tell us what you're saying, that, boy, it's tough to think that after 18 weeks, they're just going to magically change.
All I'm saying is that no game any week is a given for anybody, especially this year in the NFL. Been a lot of parity. But I'm with you, man. I think the Chiefs, they have every advantage right now. Not only they home field advantage, the weather, but I mean, also they have all the playoff experience. Like you're talking about Patrick Mahomes, man. He's 11-3 in the postseason. 11-3. He's 28 years old, and the dude's already played 14 playoff games. 11-3, 9-2 at Arrowhead.
Right.
So, I mean, all things point Chiefs. So all they have to do, man, is go out, and I said this on the video I released, a couple days back, but if they just go out and play disciplined, fundamental football, they win the game. Don't turn the ball over.
Oh, yeah.
And that's it.
Let's not turn it over. Thanks for everybody being here. We got a bunch of people in the house. We got Enrique. We got K Wayne. What's up, K Wayne? We got Gary Holland, Brian, Chiefs fanatic, Brian Stanford. Brian says he's chilling in South Florida right now. I hope you're down there egging the Dolphins as they try to practice. Do something. Shake it up a little bit for them. We got Kathy in the house. We got Great Scott, Jay Kelce. So many names. Jeremiah. I haven't seen Jeremiah in a while. I hope you're holding it down in Colorado, my boy. Chief KT, Ray, Mike Burton, Brian Parrott, the one and only Valerie. Thanks you guys for being here. Chiefers 65 toss power trap with all horned up. Hey, come on now. We're all horned up. We're ready to get this going.
For some playoff football.
We're ready for some playoff football. Chief, I seen somebody, I don't even know the name now, but this guy says he has blue balls, and this guy's going crazy. We're all out here going nuts. We're out here going nuts. Chief Kelce in the house. What's up? Yeah, Steve, I just think the Kingdom's ready. We're ready to get at it. I did see people loving the cold, right? But I've seen where ticket prices are as low as $50. So apparently they ain't loving it too much.
Can you imagine? Mike, me and you went to a game.
We went to one of the coldest games in the history of the world. It was the Colts in the playoffs.
Well, that game was cold, but I swear I think the other one was colder. It was
Which one?
A Thursday night matchup with the Raiders for the division.
You think that game was colder than the snow one? Boy, we were standing on that snow all game long.
I feel like it was like 8 degrees outside that night, and it was just brutal.
Hey, Justin Reed come out today, and he said, "Look,
and we were up in the top, bro.
Right.
Remember the wind?"
He said, "If you're going to be at the top, standing on the concrete, take you some cardboard and stand on it. It'll insulate you from the snow and ice."
Justin Reed giving wisdom out.
We didn't do that. And oh my God, go get a cardboard.
Honey Badger didn't tell us that. Justin Reed's telling y'all that.
Honey Badger, get out. I'm glad
Yeah.
Justin Reed's here and he's letting them know. Steve, it was cold, man. Pops almost had to amputate a foot. This
I thought
dude,
we were going to have to.
dude, I'm not lying. Our feet got wet. Then we stood on ice for 3.5 hours. Dude, he didn't get feeling back in his foot till we got back to Kentucky. That was over 10 hours of driving. And this dude had to pay $40 for some socks at Arrowhead Stadium.
He had a frostbite on his feet. Like, was that Daddy's Home 2 where John Lithgow, his foot's black? You know what I'm talking about? And they're like, we're going to have to take it off. We're gonna have to
Better
take it
frostbite on your foot than, on your
Could be
whatever.
worse.
Like, so that's why we wasn't sitting down. But I'm going to tell you this. Ready to go. Speaking of Chiefs players doing some of the Lord's work, it's been a big thing about this game on Peacock, Steve. Like, this has been just a thing. People are wanting to write letters to Arrowhead.
I'm missing it. I don't understand it. It's over my head. Like, I don't understand what the big deal is.
I think people are mad because
they think it's like a pay-per-view type thing.
Well, yeah, it's a pay to watch. There's a few counties in Kansas City, like the Kansas City area right there in Missouri, and probably goes into Kansas a little bit, but there's a few counties there where they get to stream it on KSHB, or not stream it, but they get to watch it on their local TVs. But this is kind of like a pay to watch. And again, Peacock.
Is it any different than the Thursday night games on Amazon though?
No, but this is playoff football. You can't have a bunch of people that's watched your team all year long
feel
and then
like
you be like, hey, you don't get to watch this.
Like, I'm not saying that I like the idea, because I think what they're doing is they're like dipping their toes in the water to see how they could do a pay-per-view. Could you imagine like the Super Bowl eventually being a pay-per-view?
Yeah, I can see that. I said that the other day.
Yeah, like a UFC fight where you got to pay way too much to watch it.
Unless the Chiefs are playing, I'm not watching it. I could care less. If the Chiefs get bounced, God forbid, I'm not watching another freaking playoff game. I don't care.
So yeah, like I said, I don't like the idea of them doing it, but at the same time, like, guys, it's not that big a deal. They even have a free trial. You can literally sign up for the free trial, watch the game, cancel it. You don't pay a dime.
But I do get the sentiment.
I get it. Yeah,
we're living in a time where inflation's through the roof. They're going to be charging us and taxing us for breathing pretty soon, because that might hurt the ozone layer. That breath,
I actually read that.
If you have a couple extra onions,
Mike, you think you're joking? You think you're joking? I actually saw that. I saw that in the New York Times.
I don't doubt it.
They did a study saying that we're hurting the ozone layer by just breathing.
Right.
I swear, I'm not lying.
So guess what? You put a few extra onions on that Big Mac, baby, you're going to double your taxes up in a state like New York or California. They may come take your family.
They might.
I'm going to tell you this, though. O'Menahue says, he tweets and says, Chiefs Kingdom, I saw the comments, and I want y'all to be able to watch us play. I'm giving away 90 3-month Peacock memberships to enter to win. Reply to this tweet with why you should get picking winners Friday. So if you guys haven't, go follow Charles O'Menahue. Go tell him why you need to watch it. Look, I'm going to tell you how you win that one. You say, because I want to watch Charles O'Menahue break the sack record week 1. If he don't pick that, then what is he doing?
Yeah.
If you don't
I want to see why Brett Veach went out and got you, Charles. That's what I need to see.
No, that sounds like you're trying to talk shade, Steve. You got to already come at it confidently. You got to say, Charles, I'm ready to watch you destroy.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
I'm ready to watch you. I want to have to surgically remove that foot from that dolphin ass.
I like it. Get the positive vibes out there in the air.
Hey.
Yes, that's the reply.
The foot coming out.
That's the reply that you should put.
That's
I want to watch you.
Right. I'm
furiously remove your foot from the Dolphins' ass after the game, Charles.
Yeah, I'm giving you a cheat code to get picked. It's that simple. I'm giving you a cheat code. I'm going to call up Charles myself and tell him that that's what it's doing. Speaking of players in the NFL, we all watched as the fans voted for the lame Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl, could it get any lamer?
No, it's a joke.
In 5 years, these guys are going to be putting on shorts and they're just going to play like pickup basketball games or something. Like, what are they doing? They may get together and have a little Monopoly game or something because they don't want contact. But they snub L'Jarius Sneed. Ridiculous. So then the players have voted for their all-pro team, Steve. Sneed, not on the list again. The own players in the NFL snub Sneed and put in cornerbacks Deron Bland from Dallas and Surtain of Denver. Sneed, better numbers than both of these guys.
Weak.
This just proves if you played in the NFL, And this is no knock to our boy Jason Dunn over there at Chief Concerns. It's no knock, but look, you've got the Richard Shermans of the world. You've got the Ryan Clarks. You've got the Ocho Cincos, which I like Ocho. You've got
You get the
out
Mitchell
there, Shannon
Schwartz on
Sharp.
X.
Right, you got Mitchell Schwartz. All these people act like they have a better opinion and they're more valuable because they have played in the league. But this just proves that if you played in the league, you're not immune to stupidity. So I don't want to hear it.
Dude, it's a popularity contest no matter which way you look at it. Like, whether the fans are voting it for the Pro Bowl or the players are voting it for this, it's still a popularity contest.
It is.
Isn't it? It has to be. I think the Deron Bland or whatever his name is, that was just because he went on that streak of pick sixes. So, I mean, his name got really thrown out there early this year.
Nobody cares about Deron Bland.
I think a lot of people just refuse to vote for Snead, Mike, because he shamed them in front of the world.
Look, you ain't gonna vote for Snead. You think you're gonna get shut down by Snead, and then you're gonna come in there and put his name on a ballot? Now, look, if you had any respect, you would, because you'd say I got shut down by probably the best corner in football this year. But these guys don't want to do it.
They don't want to talk about that, Mike.
They don't want to do it. And you know what? I don't care. Look, that's just another example.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest here. We were talking about this earlier. Travis Kelce was voted the tight end, and obviously, if you just look at the big picture, Travis Kelce's the best tight end in the league. But was he this season?
Who would you have put in over him?
I don't know. That's why I kind of wanted to bring it up. It wasn't that I don't think that he deserved it. It's just like, is there someone better? Like, I don't even know. I haven't dug into it. But I mean, Sam Laporta had a nice year as a rookie. I don't know what George Kittle's done this year. I know that TJ Hawkinson ended up getting hurt. I mean, it still could be Kelce very well.
Honestly, okay, look, Kelce done well, but yeah. I honestly believe you could have given it to Laporta or Kittle, and I would have been fine with it. Look, I'm a Travis Kelce. I firmly believe he's going down as one of the greatest to ever play. I love Travis Kelce. He's one of my top, I've been a fan of Kelce since the beginning. But, dude, Laporta, as a rookie, had 86 catches for 889 yards and 10 touchdowns. He produced 10 touchdowns. Bro. George Kittle, 65 receptions. He wasn't targeted as much, but out of those 65 receptions, he averaged 15.7 yards a catch. He went over the 1,000-yard mark. He broke 1,020 and put up 6 touchdowns. Kelce, 93 receptions. So that's actually 7 more than Laporta. 2 behind TJ Hawkinson. But look, Evan Ingram actually had 114 receptions for 963 yards and 4 touchdowns.
So they did an NFC and an AFC, correct?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think they did.
Or was it just the whole league?
It just looks like the whole league.
Oh, it's all pro. Yeah, okay. So it's okay. Yeah, so it very well could have went a different way. But I mean, I'm okay with Kelce having it too.
I'm fine with Kelce.
The fact that Kelce did what he did this year with no threat at wide receiver, and the fact that he's getting double and triple teamed all the time, I'm okay with it. I still think he had a hell of a year.
Look, if you watched us, we've been pretty critical of Mahomes this year at times. Mahomes hasn't looked the best, but we've also said Mahomes is out there with a bunch of janitors and water boys and whoever else Brett Veach pulled out of his jock strap two weeks before the season started. This cat was going into free agency acting like he had MVS and Kadarius Toney. These were the top 2 wide receivers to ever play the game. Is the way they were.
I have MVS.
Pitching that one.
I can spend $80 million on a right tackle for no reason.
Hey,
okay, I don't need a receiver.
But look, even with that scrub, the scrub playmakers and a 34-year-old Travis Kelce, who, by the way, tons of injuries he's had to deal with. Patrick Mahomes is going to have more touchdowns and more passing yards than the league MVP this year. Like, I think Mahomes has done a good job with what he's got. Well, that proves how good Mahomes is.
You said we've been critical of Mahomes at times, but at times, I mean, Mahomes has looked good too. And the fact that Mahomes has struggled and hasn't had a supporting cast at all. I mean, dude's gone off this year, to be honest. With what he's had to work with, you can't ask for more than that. Could you imagine the same wide receiver core with a different quarterback? What would Tua do with these guys? Nothing.
Tua yards per game.
Exactly.
Julia, what's up, Julia? She said, I asked this question at the beginning of the season, and the consensus was 4 years. I'm going to ask again, how long will Kelce play? I don't think it's 4 years at this point, But I don't think he retires this offseason.
I don't think he retires this offseason, but I do think it's coming sooner than you think. Like, it could be one more year after this year.
I think I'm going to go from 4 years to I'm going to give it 3. And barring another bad injury, 2.
If the Chiefs win the Super Bowl this year, does he ride out on top?
That's possible. But then again, he could say, hey, we suck this year. We're going to get better next year. Because this year you could kind of feel the rebuild. You kind of felt it this year.
Yeah, like last year was supposed to be the rebuild year.
But look, Kelce's not slowing down that much.
Felt it more this year.
And if you put some playmakers around him, he's getting more than he got this year. Right?
So Mike, I actually, a few days ago, I went back and watched a few games from last season. Playoff game included. I'm going to tell you this. They didn't look much different than they have this season.
Yeah, there was times last year
they really didn't.
Horrible.
It was the same kind of deal. Like Mahomes had the same tendencies last season. The only big difference is what we've been saying. Juju was more of a security blanket to him than anybody else besides Travis Kelce. And you take that away, Kelce's getting slammed. That's the obvious thing. But I mean, overall, the team struggled last year, but just found ways to win these tight games. This year, they haven't.
Right.
That's literally the major difference. And the major difference in that is turnovers. We weren't turning over the ball as much last year.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that leads us to, a lot of people have asked, and I want to get back to the Dolphins game just a little bit too. That's what we hyped up, so that's what we want to talk about. But people have questions and different things that we're kind of getting into. This offseason, a lot of people are saying we've got to go out, we've got to get that big wide receiver. You got to go draft one. Do you see the Chiefs drafting another wide receiver in round 1?
I'm one of those guys, but I don't want to draft it. I think you got to go get a free agent.
Right.
I'm not.
Would you
down.
give up Chris Jones though to go get any other?
No.
I think T. Higgins is rated the top.
The answer is no, and the second part of that answer is I don't think you have to.
Okay.
I don't think that you have to pick between Chris Jones and a decent wide receiver. I don't. Every other team on the planet, even if they don't have a quarterback on a rookie contract, still find a way to put pieces in place.
Right.
Brett Veach can do the same. He can quit overpaying people like MVS. He can quit overpaying people like Jawan Taylor. He can quit overpaying the wrong positions,
right,
or the wrong people per se, and do this thing the right way.
So you want to do it in free agency? Who's your top free agent the Chiefs should target at wide receiver? And I think you're going to say Mike Evans.
If money's no problem, like if you're going to just go out and go all balls to the wall, yeah, Mike Evans. I think if you want to go younger, you go T. Higgins, but I would feel more comfortable with Mike Evans if you're just going to do like a 1-2 year contract.
As the wide receiver whisperer, I do not mind the Mike Evans. I don't mind it, but I believe to fit our offense and to be lethal, dynamic, into something that I know the Chiefs do like, body type and the style, I think Hollywood Brown might be a guy you could look at.
Yeah, but I mean, that's no comparison. None. Like Mike Evans is hands down 20 million times better than him.
Well, he might be, but I don't know if he's the receiver that we like to put in our schemes. And he's a little older, may cost a little more.
You might be right about that, but I think that they really need to take a step back and figure out how to scheme that in.
Nice receiver, though. Look at what he does with baby Kyler Murray.
I just don't see them drafting another receiver. They suck at drafting receivers. Let's be honest. The best one they've ever drafted has been Rashee Rice with Brett Veach and crew. And it's by far.
Well, would you be fine keeping Rashee Rice? You probably keep Justin Watson. You're probably going to keep Kadarius Toney. I think Mecole Hardman's probably gone again. And I think MVS has to go, right? I think you can keep the Justin Ross experience. That's 4. And then that leaves you to take a rookie again, draft one again somewhere, 3rd, 4th round maybe, and maybe pick up a veteran like a Marquise Brown. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, would you be fine rolling with Marquise Brown, Rashee Rice? And
that's better than what we have. So, yes, I would be okay with it.
You're going to have Scott Moore, too. I don't honestly think they're getting rid of Scott Moore.
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, he's on a rookie contract. I just don't see him going.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
A team would have to be very interested, and the Chiefs would maybe listen to a trade talk, but what are people going to give up for a guy like that?
Kadarius Toney's in limbo. I think he's still got another year on his contract, so they might keep him around, but I don't see the point at the same time. But But no, I agree. I feel like that's something more like they might do. I highly doubt they're going to go out and pay somebody like Mike Evans. I just don't see Brett Veach doing it.
Would you be okay if somehow D-Hop come back on the market? Is he now too old for you, or would you still take a shot with D-Hop this year?
Hell no. You take him in a heartbeat. I mean, you saw what he did. He made Will Levis look like a competent NFL quarterback.
We've watched Will Levis for years at UK, and
he's
honestly,
good, but he's not that good.
But I don't think he's as good as he's shown in the 1 or 2 games he played. I think he's going to come back down to earth, big time.
Yeah, a little bit. I do think he's a better option for them than Tannehill, or Malik Willis. So I mean, there's that, but I don't think he's as good as people think. But yeah, that's definitely somebody you could look at. Michael Pittman, that's another young guy that I think they could look at.
Right. I like Pittman.
Either way, you know what, Mike? We're not going to talk about the offseason anymore right now because it's not the offseason. We still have a Super Bowl to win.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about this game coming up.
That's what I think about it. The game coming up.
So the sentiment is it's cold. Chiefs automatically win because it's cold. Okay, well, you're digging further into it. What are the matchups that you think that we really need to focus on? What do you think that Andy Reid's trying to exploit about that defense? And what do you think Steve Spagnuolo is trying to exploit about the offense?
Okay, for one, I'm going to be looking at all the injuries that the Dolphins have. So for me, their defense is pretty much depleted. They're going to be playing without Van Ginkel. He's already been ruled out. They've already, you've got Bradley Chubb on the IR. Their starting corner's not playing this week. They've went out and signed Justin Houston and Bruce Irvin.
Justin Houston was not a bad signing for them.
It's not a bad sign. Dude, can we talk about that for 1 second? How bad does Justin Houston hate the Chiefs, and how much does that kind of hurt your heart a little bit?
Is it really that he hates the Chiefs, or is it just that a playoff contending team needed somebody?
100%. I think he wants to come back and just beat the Chiefs right out of the playoffs. I think that'd give him no more satisfaction.
At this point, as many times as he's been available and the Chiefs kind of overlook him, then yeah, maybe.
Well, the Chiefs aren't going to ever sign him again. They just hate each other at this point. I think you can see that, and it's kind of sad.
Which is crazy because he's like Justin Houston was an absolute beast. He's a Chiefs legend, and that's sad.
Yeah, kind of sad. But that's what I would exploit. I would exploit those weaknesses. And so, to me,
how do you
use Pacheco?
That?
I'm going to run the ball. Donovan Smith's probably going to be back this week. Wanye is already ruled out with a concussion. So, look, Donovan Smith that kind of scares me a little bit that he's playing. But at the same time, he is the week 1 starter. That's who they have the faith in. So, fine.
I mean, I don't think there's a big difference between him and Wanye one way or the other. I think it's pretty much the same protection.
So, I think cold game, you got to exploit their offensive. You got to exploit their weaknesses on defense that they're missing. So be it you take your shots, but you also establish Pacheco, the raging bull Pacheco in the cold. And you tell Pacheco, look, because Pacheco's had some fumble problems. You say, look, your hands are going to be freezing. Let's keep those bad boys warmed up and let's keep a tight grip on the ball. And then number 2, you got to stop Devin Achane. I think that's they asked Justin Reid today who he reminds him of, and he said he sees flashes of Reggie Bush. I think that's spot on. I thought he looked a little bit like Jamal Charles.
I'll tell you this. When he's in the open field running, he reminds you of Tyreek. Like, there are some similarities.
Devin?
That Devon Achane, like, obviously he's running back different position, but I just mean when he's in the open field, like, as quick as that guy is and as quick as he can, change direction on a dime, it does remind me of Tyreek. Like, his acceleration is ridiculous. So he's definitely somebody you got to watch. But, hey, that being said, Devon Achane is on the injury report as a limited participant with a toe and a rib.
Though, right?
He's going to play. Well, while I'm talking about that, Devon Achane, Tyreek Hill, Raheem Mostert, Jalen Waddle, all limited participants.
But I think they get out there.
I even think Jalen Waddle gets out there for the playoffs. I do. I think they're going to go all out here if they can.
I think you have to.
Will they be 100%? I don't know. They could be. They could not be. The way that the injury report works in the NFL, you never really know, do you?
Ask the Bengals.
Exactly. So, but all those guys are limited participants. But like you were talking about, Xavier Howard did not participate. He's supposedly not playing.
Yeah, I've heard that he's out.
That gives Mahomes a little bit of wiggle room, and the fact that they don't have any of their edge rushers. They just don't.
Right.
I think that gives Mahomes more time, And I think that not having Xavier Howard out there, their best cornerback, that's going to free up some things. They're going to have to focus on Travis Kelce. That's been the MO for every team this year. Double, triple, whatever you got to do, take Travis Kelce out of the game. Rashee Rice just has to be there. I mean, he should have a big game, honestly.
Right.
Receivers got to catch the ball. It being cold and everything, that's our biggest problem all year is catching the ball. Catch the freaking ball, and you win games. It's that simple, man. I think the Chiefs have the edge here. I think the way Spagnuolo needs to look at it is even if all these guys do play, Mike, say Waddle, Mostert, Devon Achane, Tyreek Hill, all of them's out there 100%. That is a lot of freaking speed on the field.
Right.
And that's scary because they can do a lot of quick passes, screen passes, and stuff like that. And we all know if you really want to rattle Tua, you got to hit him. Put some pressure on him.
Do you see possibly, because Kelce, look, with all these Miami Dolphins linebacker injuries, Kelce now becomes a big focal point of the Chiefs. And they're like, look, we got to get Kelce rolling. We got to get the Mahomes-Kelce duo back. We got to get the band back together. You know, you got to get them clicking.
100%.
Kelce has been kind of double, triple teamed into the dirt. He's a little older, but look, he's back. He's healthy, presumably, right now, better than any time during the season. He's rested, and they have no linebackers. Do you see them possibly imploring the old idea we seen a few weeks back where maybe they put Jalen Ramsey on him to just cover Kelce and say, look, Jalen doesn't have to cover any wide receivers. The Chiefs wide receivers suck. Do you think that may be what they do? They
could. You do see Jalen Ramsey on Travis Kelce quite a bit when they're playing each other.
Right. So maybe that might be it. Maybe he shadows Kelce, and that's their game plan there.
You know what?
It doesn't scare me.
I could be wrong for saying this, but Jalen Ramsey does not scare me no matter who the receiver is. I think he is the most overhyped corner in football. I think ability-wise, he might be what people say he is. But I've never seen enough out of Jalen Ramsey to make me think he's as great as everyone talks about him being.
Statistically, he's not been as good this year as L'Jarius Sneed.
Of course not. He never is, right?
Right. Well, I'm just kind of curious how they guard Kelce, but I do think that could be something they take advantage of. And again, I think you have to have a heavy dose. I think you have to lean into it. Like, I know Andy and them are just forcing this they're forcing this idea of, it's going to work, it's going to click, the receivers are going to work, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But do you just kind of lean into, hey, we're a defensive team, we can run the ball with Pacheco, it's cold, can we lean into maybe some smash mouth football and just pound the Dolphins into the ground? Just have a little tuna sandwich.
I think is that not the recipe? That has to be it, right?
But is Andy going to outsmart himself?
Andy will not go for it 100%. You know this. You know he won't. I do think that they kind of played that angle the first time they played the Dolphins, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like they ran the ball effectively on them. I could be, if my memory serves me right.
I'll go back and get stats while you're talking.
Yeah, go do that. But yeah, they've got to run the ball, obviously. And we all know, since we were in Pee Wee football, the run opens up the pass. Andy is not that type of coach, though. Andy's a pass-first guy, always has been, and he'll do it even in times where you literally want to pull your hair out because why are we throwing the ball? Like literally we can kneel the ball the entire second half and win this game, but Andy's out here throwing it every play. I mean, that's just the type of coach he is. He's going to continue to do that. I think that Patrick Mahomes will attempt over 30 passes easy. It is what it is. But the fact of the matter is, Mike, they have to have a good mixture, no matter which way you go about it, whether it's pound the ball with Pacheco, open up some passes, or, hey, we've got to complete some passes and then counter them with a run. You know what I'm saying? Like, There has to be a good mixture. It cannot be a one-sided thing.
Right. He's going to have to, I think the way that the Dolphins counteract the injuries and stuff is going to be to try to send some crazy looks at Mahomes. I think they're going to try to take advantage of some of our pass blocking mistakes, maybe try to get Juwan Taylor to jump and be a little, twitchy off the line.
I mean, Vic Fangio is going to have a good game plan. I mean, he's good.
He's going to send people. I have a feeling. Yeah. To go back to that Chiefs-Dolphins game, I brought up the stats. Patrick Mahomes, you said he would throw the ball over 30 times. He threw the ball 30 times last time. But this was a very outlier game. Pacheco 16 carries, 66 yards. They went away from the run in the second half. But I'm with you, 16 carries. We had that big defensive touchdown returned by Brian Cook, and that was literally the game. Everything across the board was statistically even, basically. Listen to the receivers. This is why this is such an odd game. The leading receiver was 34 yards, Noah Gray on 3 catches. Sky Moore, 2 catches, 33 yards, was our second leading receiver. He's not even going to play. Jerick McKinnon, 2 catches, 22. He's not even going to play. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 2 catches for 22. That's 50% of his season total. Look, that's 50% of
the MVS jokes
total,
write themselves. They're so true. Like, think about that for a second.
Look, 2 for 20. Kadarius Toney had 1 for 18. Rashee Rice, 2 for 17. Justin Watson, 2 for 15, and Kelce was 3 for 14. McCole actually had 3 for 10. So I think you're not gonna look. I think you can still use Noah Gray and Kelce in the 12, in the 12s, and then I believe honestly you're not gonna have Sky Moore, or Jerick McKinnon. Using MVS is pointless right now. Mahomes won't even throw to him. Tony's probably not gonna play. So I think that Rashee Rice at 2 for 17 and that Justin Watson at 2 for 15 and McCole 3 for 10, I think those are your 3 wideouts they start using a lot. And I think it's Kelce. But what a weird game. That the top of the board was Noah Gray and Sky Moore. That might have been Sky Moore's best game all season. 3 catches for 30 yards or something, dude.
Well, I'll tell you something I would like to see Reed and Nagy utilize in this game. No, it's no secret that we struggled in the red zone. Like, even against the Bengals, I felt like we moved the ball really effectively the whole day.
Right.
Just couldn't get in the end zone. I think that if McCall Hardman's healthy, you've got to start looking at some jet sweeps that we have not used all year long. You got to start looking at some different little screen passes to him and utilize his speed. He's always been with all of his downfalls, McCall Hardman has been a viable red zone option his entire career. Like, he might not do a whole lot of anything else.
Right.
But he's always an option in the red zone. I think we got to take advantage of that. We haven't had it in the last few weeks because he's been out. But, I mean, what did he play? 1 game after we got him back before he got hurt? I mean, it's not like he's got back in this offense like he used to.
Were you impressed by him last week? A lot of people were in the chat with me the other day saying that he had a heck of a game. He needs a lot more targets. I will say this. He had 2 drops. And if you remember that route he just completely quit on, that Blaine Gabbert threw up, that kind of was irritating.
Look, I know that the Chargers played a lot of
I actually just seen
starters.
Julia write that. She said she was irritated by that play.
Like, I think that the Chargers played a lot of starters and stuff, but I still nothing that anyone did in that game would impress me or make me think that can translate to a playoff football game. Because that was a glorified preseason game. It just all there is to it. If you want to go by that standard, Michael Pirine could be your starting running back. Like that, it's just not the same.
Don't say that, man. People jumping on that one.
That's crazy, though. Like, you can't honestly think that. Like, I mean, Pacheco is light years ahead of this guy. But like that, they've got to lean into Pacheco. They got to lean into the playmakers, man. Like, that's all there is to it. Like I said, I know McCall Hardman hasn't done a whole lot of anything in the past couple of years for injuries and being traded and coming back, but he's always been a viable red zone option. I think that's something that we have to use. We have to keep their defense, their depleted defense, on their heels. Confuse them. Do things that they're not expecting to see. I mean, Andy's good at that. Andy loves that kind of thing. Granted, I don't want to see a bunch of crazy trick plays, but I'm okay with seeing, a jet sweep here and there, something like that, something we haven't utilized. Do that, and then you got to lean on your playmakers, which are, this year, Isaiah Pacheco, Rashee Rice, and you can say Travis Kelce's in there. That's it. You got to rely on those guys right there.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Matthew, what's up, man? He says, are you guys concerned about Miami running game being the offensive focus? They averaged 7 yards a carry last time we played. I spoke on this the other day. I think it was Monday when I went live. I was like, I think McDaniels, he gets a rap kind of like Andy Reid, like he just wants to throw it all over the yard, but he will commit to the run. Mike Daniels likes to run the ball, Mike McDaniels. So.
Well, when you have Raheem Mostert and Devon Achane, I mean, good Lord, bro. Those guys are
Wilson
both
too.
4.3 speed. Yeah, I mean, they can hurt you in a lot of different ways.
Do you think they hurt the Chiefs though? I think the Chiefs are going to look to stop the run first. To be honest, I think we're gonna force Tua to beat us. I believe.
We're gonna have to, because I mean, if you let them get out and run on you, you're in trouble. Like, I'm just gonna say that there's just no way. Like someone said in the chat a minute ago, I think it was Andrew. He says you guys are worrying too much about the offense. The defense is why we will or will not win the game. The reason why we're talking about the offense is because the offense is the reason why we have lost so many games this season. So of course that's what we're going to. But you're not wrong. The defense does have to stop the run. They have to basically make this team one-dimensional. If they can't rely on a run and they have to pass, and then you put a little bit of pressure on Tua, it's a wrap. Game over.
Right. Well, look, a lot of people were asking the other day, and even I've seen it a few times, is McKinnon going to be able to get back? No. We got an update on McKinnon today, and it said he made an appearance in the locker room on Tuesday, and while the McKinnon smile remained in place, don't expect the speedy running back to make a quick return. He was on crutches Tuesday. He underwent surgery on January 2nd. Dr. William Myers, who specializes in core muscle injuries, performed the surgery in Philly. He had a sports hernia, and he also suffered a fractured pelvis that required repair. He is 31 years old. McKinnon is probably not going to play the rest of this year. McKinnon may have played his last game in a Chiefs jersey. That's kind of sad to admit, but that may be the case. May be the case. So just letting everybody know that update.
That does hurt for a playoff run because, I mean, Jerick McKinnon, it's no secret he's the best pass protector we got as far as running backs go. Although Isaiah Pacheco has stepped up his game this season, I will say that. But yeah, he's also that passing threat out of the backfield. It's been that way. But you know what? That's something that we haven't had all year. Even when he was healthy and playing, we didn't utilize it. That's something that the Chiefs went away from, for better or for worse.
Chief KT says, why are people making excuses for the Dolphins when I thought we were trash?
Dude, yeah, the excuses have already poured in for the Dolphins. I mean, basically right now it's all on the Chiefs. Like the Dolphins are expected to lose because it's cold and this and that, and they have like everybody's hurt and all that. So
yeah,
literally all the pressure is on the Chiefs. I think this was a coordinated effort to put all pressure on Kansas City.
I feel like the Dolphins are just playing on house money at this point. Yeah. And I believe the league would love to see Miami get, far in the playoffs. That's a big market down there.
Mike, we were talking about the running game, stopping the running game. Granted, our run defense hasn't looked spectacular. If there's any weakness in our defense, it's usually the run defense. It's that and our third down. We let up a lot of third downs.
Right.
But there's two different things that will come into play here. We signed Mike Pennell back, and he's a great run defender. Like we rode him.
Hey, he's the new PP. The PP on the P.
Well, yeah, exactly. But we rode him in that Super Bowl run. I think it was it?
Yeah, we did.
Super Bowl 54. Like he was a beast of a run defender. But we did not face Devon Achane last time either. He was out.
You think Isaiah Buggs gets a chance to play a little bit, or do you think they even activate him?
They probably won't activate him. If they did, though, I mean, he's a guy with enough experience. I think you could plug and play him a little bit.
Yeah, I don't see. I mean, most defense is like, look, you're gonna just stay in your gap. You're gonna, run block. You're gonna get after the quarterback, or not run block, but you're gonna play run D. You're gonna get after the quarterback, or you're gonna stunt a little bit. Like you're not usually dropping defensive tackles back in pass coverage. Like he don't have to learn elaborate schemes. I think you can let him get out there and at least give Turk and Chris Jones and whoever else, you give them a little bit of help.
Well, I have something I want to bring up though. It was one of my coworkers earlier today. We were talking about it, and of course the narrative is that it's cold and the Chiefs are automatically going to win because it's cold and Miami's not used to it and blah blah blah. But 0 degrees or negatives, that can't be a benefit for anyone. Like, is that really a benefit for Kansas City to play?
No, just because we're playing at home and you're used to it doesn't mean your hands aren't going to go numb.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people are acting like it's just a big, huge thing for the Chiefs, and it's like, I'm sorry, but that can't benefit anyone.
Did you see what
you
Andy
think Patrick
said
Mahomes is going to play better in negative 10 degrees?
Did you see what Andy said about it?
What?
Andy said that it doesn't benefit anybody. They're not having a snowball fight.
I'm right there with him. That's what I think.
I mean, it's and I mean, I guess you can say, hey, look, the Chiefs could be out, like go outside and put your hands in the snow for the next 6 hours. And,
That's the thing. Everybody's like, oh, well, the Chiefs are used to that weather. No, they're not. No one's used to below like sub-zero temps.
Below sub-zero.
Nobody's used to that.
Maybe Green
Bay.
Bay.
No matter who you are. That's crazy.
Yeah,
but
that's
either way,
crazy.
man, I do think it's going to be a good game. I think the Chiefs have the edge, but I think there's the Chiefs have to be ready to go, man. It can't be the same Chiefs team we've been seeing slacking all season. Because if they go out there lackadaisical and looking like they have a lot of the time this year, Miami will smack them right in the mouth.
Do you think the Chiefs throughout the season, for example, do you think that they heard what everybody said and they put pressure on themselves and it caused some kind of weird catastrophic meltdown? And then do you think now, though, that they've had basically a bye week, and they've had time to reassess, do you think they get their mind right and they come out and just say, look, we're a new team, new day, new season, everybody's 0-0, let's win 4. Do you think they have the mental fortitude to do that, or do you think this team is mentally soft? Because we've seen a lot of turnovers. We've seen a lot of the same mistakes. We've seen drops. We've seen mental errors. We've seen Kadarius Toney lining up offsides. You name it, we watched it. It looked horrible. But do you think that this team has the mental fortitude and the leadership that they can just turn it around in a flip of a switch and hit this for 4 games?
In short, yes, I do. I think with leadership like Andy Reid, quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce on your squad, the defensive side of the ball, you're looking at Chris Jones leading those guys. I think they have all the leadership and they can do it. But I do think you're correct. I think there was somewhat of a, I guess you could call it a meltdown. They kind of had a meltdown. They've kind of been a little mentally soft. But the thing about it is I don't think that it was the whole team that's mentally soft. I think there was a couple of bad eggs. I think that they took care of a couple of them, and I think they left one out there. There's one guy that they really don't need to have on the field, and I don't have any faith, no faith that they will not give him 50 snaps.
In your opinion, when Chris Jones decided to listen to those 2 twerps and have a little mini holdout for a game, and Brett Veach, playing just a little too much hardball and not moving a little bit and starting the season off on that foot, do you believe that Chris Jones holdout was a little bit of a kickstart, along with Kelce, by the way, hyperextending his knee in that same week? Do you feel like, and then that was the first week Kadarius Toney goes out there and just flubs up everything. Do you think those 3 things just started this season off in just the wrong foot and they just never could get it, corrected? Like, do you put Chris Jones at fault anyway?
Not even a little bit. I don't think that's it. Like, I'm sorry, but like with the guys that we have on the team, like I just said, Andy Reid's your coach, Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback, Travis Kelce is your tight end. Like, it doesn't matter how one game goes; it should not affect your entire season. That's insane. I mean, you're talking about the same guys a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Look who it's affecting. Look who it affected. It affected Kadarius Toney. He's in a rookie contract, and I feel like he's kind of mentally weak, right? He's not had the amount of leadership. It affected, Sky Moore to the point where they put this cat on IR, and people are calling him to be done. It affected MVS, who, by the way, has never been good at football. He's MVS not mentally tough either. MVS projects all of his. He doesn't take any responsibility for anything. It's always somebody else's fault. He's a stereotypical narcissist if I've ever seen one. So that's what I'm saying. Bad. The mentally weak are the ones being like hampered, and they're not coming back. It's like our leadership is not strong enough to get the mentally weak to get back.
I get what you're saying exactly, but I think the thing about it is they're not going to come back. They're mentally weak. You hit the nail on the head. We don't need them. What did they do with the other young guys, Mike? What did they do with KT? What did they do with Sky? Oh, they're magically on the IR. Because they don't want him on the field because of this. But there's one glaring problem. Marquez Valdes-Scantling. This guy is just as bad or worse than those two. And he's been out there 60 snaps a game.
Do they think there's nobody else on the team that can run wind sprints for 60 minutes?
That's what I don't understand. I just don't get it. I think to answer your question, and we kind of got sidetracked, but yeah, I do think they can flip the script pretty easily. Like, I feel like they have all the tools to do it. I just feel like there's a couple of things that have been problems all year, and it all comes down to if Andy Reid's going to do anything about it. What? How are you going to make sure that your tackles are playing fundamental football, are not out there making boneheaded holds, false starts, and things of that nature? How are you going to keep your receivers from dropping wide open passes? So far, we've not seen him do anything to, he hasn't smacked the kids on the hand. Like
Right.
MVS has been allowed to suck and continue to go back out there and suck more. And then guess what? Since you sucked for the last 3 weeks, we're going to give you 61 snaps this week. Like he's had no repercussions for being trash.
Right.
Are we going to see that? I doubt it right here in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But can we overcome it is the question. Can the leadership we have overcome that kind of stuff? I don't know. I think so. I do believe so, but it's yet to be seen because this team haven't done anything this season to make you think, man, they're just going to be great. They're going to be that great team in the playoffs.
Yeah, I hear it. Thanks for tuning in. We're not done just yet. I just wanted to give you guys a thanks for being here with us on a Wednesday. It's about 2:30 p.m. Central Time.
Eastern.
So
Central? Okay.
Yeah, so it's 3:30 Eastern here on the East. 123 people have hit like. If you haven't done that so far, back up, hit the like button. Get in the comment section, talk to the people here, the ACU crew, a very knowledgeable fan base. Go ahead and hit that sub button. We're trying to get to 20K. We're at like 19,950 last time we checked. We need 50 likes
51.
to get to 20K. Is that not insane? Like we're fine. We're gonna hit it.
That was the goal that we had even before YouTube absolutely screwed us.
Even in the midst of a YouTube ban, a YouTube what is it? Like just an effing. Can I just say effing?
Yeah.
A YouTube effing.
A good old fashioned effing.
A good old fashioned F, right from the YouTubers. I'm gonna tell you, we've battled through it, and we're gonna get to 20K for sure. So go ahead and hit that sub if you haven't. Steve.
Yeah, Mike, right now we're sitting at 19,951. Okay. So 49 more, guys. So 49. If you haven't subbed, please go sub. We got to knock that out. We got to go ahead and conquer that. Just real quick before you keep going, Mike. A couple of people asking about our YouTube situation. It's all still under review. We're just waiting on YouTube. We're on their time. So we should hear something by the end of the month. But so far, same deal. Hopefully sooner than later, we'll hear something though, and everything can get back to normal. You guys can get your memberships back. We can see those beautiful emojis in the chat and just have some fun. Have some members only live streams, get back to all the good stuff. So hopefully sooner than later to answer y'all's question, but
for sure. In the meantime though, you can make a donation to the channel. Cash App, we got PayPal, we got Venmo. You can do that. You can also go to merch.allchiefedup.com. Get yourself a nice piece of merch. I mean, who don't want a nice piece of merch? And then also you can see at the bottom, we've partnered with FOCO. You can use code GOCHIEFS10, 10% off all in-stock items. If you use our link that is scrolling, it will be in the description. Click that link, do some shopping on FOCO. They do a lot of good stuff. Steve, FOCO actually helped us give away some stuff on Twitter the other day. Nice lady, I forget her name. I think her name was Beth. She was from Kansas. So a Chief fan won it. There's a lot of non-Chief fans trying to get in there. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, Chief fan did win it.
Free stuff on Twitter.
They're going to send her out some free stuff, Yeah. So FOCO actually give us a lot more stuff to give away here on the podcast. So we're going to be doing that here soon. Hopefully we'll do that in just a little bit. We'll start doing like members only and things again. We'll be able to get back to the Wheel of Death. We'll be able to do lots of fun stuff as soon as YouTube gets their crap together and gets it going. But in the meantime, we still appreciate you guys. Throw some questions in the chat if you'd like us to answer some. We're going to be here for maybe 10, 15 more minutes. We'll answer some questions, and we'll talk about this Dolphins game a little bit more. Any questions you got, we'll talk about them. Steve, you know what I want to talk about? I found this awesome pizza place in Lexington, Kentucky. It's called Grimaldi's. I absolutely love it. You're going to have to ride with me to Lexington one time and go try that pizza. It is insane.
It's the best pizza in Kentucky?
It's got to be up there. It's got to be up there. The freshest of fresh ingredients.
Is it better than was it Goodfellas? The one that Dave Portnoy got mad at?
Right. Goodfellas is good, but this one is fresh, more fresh, like more like real tasting. This is like authentic stuff. And we've not talked about pizza on the podcast a lot because why? When we were members, we had pizza emojis. We had all kinds of stuff. Everybody knew we're pizza connoisseurs. We are Mexican food connoisseurs. That is what I live off of, Steve. Pizza, Mexican food.
I want one of those for dinner tonight.
I can't. I'm trying out this new thing called keto.
Is that new? They just invented it?
Yeah. This new thing called, I think it's called keto.
I want to try the carnivore diet where I just eat meat. That's what I want to do.
I just want to try the Ninja Turtle diet where you just have pizza every day. I think I should do that. Let's read some questions. Do we have some? Somebody asked if Nick Bolton played against the Dolphins. I cannot find it. Did he play against Dolphins in Germany? He was out. He did not play. Drew Tranquill actually played that game, and I think Tranquill had 8 total tackles, 4 solo tackles. Leo had a big day, 7 total tackles, 4 solo. That was the day Jalen Watson had a pretty good day. That may have been Jalen Watson's best game of the year.
Jalen Watson.
Great Scott said, what about a Mexican pizza, man?
You're just going to take my
Sorry,
he
said a Mexican pizza, and you know what, Scott?
Great Scott.
When we were in high school, they had a Mexican pizza named a Fiestada. And there was nothing about Fiestada Day that...
Back to Jesus before Mike rudely interrupted.
Sorry.
Over a Mexican freaking pizza. No. He said, I'm just glad Matthew won't be making business decisions in sub-zero temps. Can you imagine? I wanted to bring that up to just have, Tyrann Mathieu was an absolute beast and a great signing and a great Chief. But his last season was terrible. And that's why he's not here anymore. He made business decisions.
Yeah.
He couldn't tackle nobody, wouldn't hit nobody. It was bad. Granted, he went on to New Orleans and he's played well. But this, I'm going to take 5 minutes to appreciate, not 5 minutes, 5 seconds to appreciate Justin Reid. You might say, hey, he's not as great as the Honey Badger. But I tell you this, Justin Reid won't make a business decision. He'll hit somebody.
Let's hope. If he starts making
what
business
do you mean,
decisions, he's out.
He's done it all year. He'll hit
That's
somebody.
True.
He's going to hit somebody.
That's true. Andrew said, is that the place kicked Dave out? Yeah, on the pizza reviews.
Yeah, so what's funny is they have really good pizza. They're actually good.
Goodfellas is the name that he's talking about.
Yeah. They kicked him out the first time, and then he went back, and I think he gave him in the 7s, I think.
Yeah. They were jerks. Look, I'm going to tell you that. They're kind of...
It was some random employee that had nothing to do with it.
Hey, Brian Parris says bacon Casey's rules. We had Casey's the other day. We like Casey's. Primetime says Texans will beat the overrated Browns this weekend. I don't think the Browns are that overrated.
I don't think that...
I think the Browns have a pretty good defense, right?
CJ Stroud has been a tremendous rookie quarterback. Like, better than I even thought he was going to be. I thought he was going to be better than Bryce Young. I was correct, but I didn't know he would be this good. But the Browns defense is no joke, and I don't think he'll be doing what he's been doing against the Browns defense. So
right. Darren says, do you guys think it's better for them to bow out gracefully and leave first game in the playoffs than get beat by next team and really No,
absolutely not, Darren.
You win. Who are we going to play? It would take a...
There's no such thing as bowing out gracefully.
No, it's a miracle if we don't play.
Super Bowl or bust for the Kansas City Chiefs in the Mahomes era. Okay.
Right. And it'll be a miracle if we don't play the Bills. Like,
right.
If you lose to the Bills, you lost to a good
team. It's annoying.
Team.
It sucks.
Yeah.
You got to deal with it in the offseason. Their fans are annoying. But there's no such thing as bowing out gracefully in the Mahomes era. You either win the Super Bowl or you screwed up.
For sure. Jared says Tony, Envy, Ass, and Sky is out next year? ?
Sky ain't going nowhere.
Sky's not going nowhere on a rookie deal. Tony possibly isn't going anywhere on a rookie deal. Envy.
That's not saying that they're going to use them a lot.
Right.
But they're not going to go anywhere. Envy Ass is done. He's toast. He's gone.
Yeah, he's got to go. If Brett Veach brings him back one more time, Brett Veach can kick rocks too.
I say we riot.
Hey, look, I love Brett Veach, but if he makes a business decision to bring back that fool, I'm gonna go have a sit-in protest in his office.
I will. I'll do it. We'll get Andy Reid to have a naked protest in Brett Veach's office.
We don't want a naked protest.
Andy Reid will stand naked in Brett Veach's office until he cuts MVS off the squad.
Yeah, we don't want that. Primetime says we're gonna riot if MVS comes back. Yeah, there may be some, I wish Do you think Justin Ross will get any snaps this week? I've yet to see if that injury was anything of significance.
Justin Ross? I don't think it matters. They're not going to use him.
So you don't think he earned any more playing time after last week? Because I actually thought he looked pretty good
you could argue that he earned it, but that doesn't mean he's going to get it.
Well, that's true. I mean, that's 1,000%
let's be honest
true.
Here.
Justin Ross was back to practice today on Wednesday after suffering a hamstring injury. Okay. I'm with you, though. I still don't think Justin Ross will get significant snaps. But, look, I like the way he was using his hands, catching the ball, doing all that stuff. Brent brings up a great one. Nico Remigio. I'm going to be so happy to watch that cat all offseason. I think he's got a chance. Steve, do you remember when I called him a dark horse to make the roster? And then we started seeing like 7. They're probably only keeping 7 because they wanted to take Justin Ross. And then we were like, well, that pretty much rules Nico out, sadly. But look, we didn't have to put him on the practice squad. He wasn't poached.
I can tell everybody this. You save absolutely $0 by getting rid of Sky Moore or Kadarius Toney right now on rookie contracts. So they're not going to go anywhere. Like, you're not going to see them go anywhere. I'd be surprised if they do. But that doesn't mean that we won't see Nico back in action, because I do think Nico was well on his way to maybe making that squad. Like, you have a good argument for it anyway.
What would be your percentage of 0 to 100 that the Chiefs would cut, just flat out cut Sky Moore in year 3?
Almost 0, bro.
Yeah, I'm down there. I mean, maybe 10, 15%. I wouldn't say never, but it's low.
I'm still not 100% convinced that Sky Moore couldn't be effective if used correctly.
I said that the other day. People are going to rank you for that one.
It's fine. Rank me all you want. The way that he's being used right now, he's better off being on IR. I'll say that. But I'm just saying, I'm not even saying the Chiefs have to do it. But there's somebody out there that can use a player like him. I think he can be utilized and be effective. I don't think he's going to be a superstar in the league by any means. But if Julian Edelman and Wes Welker can go out there and be superstars with Tom Brady, there's no reason why Sky Moore can't be functional.
People hear Julian Edelman, and you automatically think, hey, good slot receiver, one of the best Brady ever had. Do you remember how hard it was for Julian Edelman to make the team? He struggled for 4 or 5 years. The dude was playing defense. He had to play defense just to make the team. He was following Tom Brady around in the offseason in hopes Tom Brady would just call him and want to practice with him. Like, Julian Edelman stunk. So for everybody to just be writing off Sky Moore as if he could never contribute is insane, because we did see what he could do in college, and you just don't lose that. So I do believe there's something there. Has he shown it?
At the same time, we're not holding our breath for anything to happen.
Right. But I don't think that Sky's an ultimate, like, the worst player in the history of the world. Let's put it that way.
For sure. Adam, what's up, my man? Good to see you. Hope you're doing okay. Appreciate all your support, by the way. Tattoo on the left hand. It's a Crimson Ghost from the band The Misfits.
Ooh.
And if you had the hands mixed up, I got a Marilyn Monroe over here on the right.
Look at this guy.
So, hope that answers your question.
Look at this guy. He's out here showing the ghost and the Monroe.
What we got here? Gary, what's up, Gary? He says, Mike and Steve, have you been to any Hooters in Kentucky? It's funny that you brought this up.
Don't talk about Hooters.
It's
a personal question.
It's funny that you brought this up, though, because last time I went to Hooters was actually in Nashville, and it stunk. But Mike said that he's been going to Hooters lately, right? In Louisville, and it's good.
They redid one up here on Dixie Highway in Louisville that I will frequent, and it's pretty decent. And actually, we went to a Christmas thing in, where was that? It was a Christmas thing in about 40 minutes above Cincinnati, somewhere in Ohio, and that was a very good Hooters. So they could still be good, but they can also get really run down and horrible. So, yeah.
Man, I love chicken wings. Like, that's funny because we talked about pizza and Mexican food being like our lifeblood, but I eat a lot of wings.
Look, I'm going to give you a hack.
I love some wings
at Hooters. So people like the wings.
Hooters,
right? So if you're a bone-in wing person, okay.
Mike, are you getting all horned up at Hooters?
I am. If you're a boneless wing kind of person, don't go to Hooters and get boneless wings. You get little bite-sized nuggets that suck, and they will charge you literally like $8 for 4 of them, and they're the most bite-sized little child's nuggets ever. But like for some reason, you can get 5 freshly cooked ginormous chicken strips for like $4. I have no idea. That's got to be a glitch on their menu. But yeah, that's the hack. Just dip the chicken strip.
That's the hack
in the sauce of your choice. Okay.
Yeah. Jared, we answered the question earlier about Kelce retiring after this season. I don't think he'll retire after this season. I mean, would I be 100% surprised if he did? No, but I don't see it happening this season. I think you're probably going to see a Kelce for at least 1 or 2 more seasons. I would suspect.
Right. Agua says Edelman is a lot stronger and a better route runner. He was not that for the first 5 of his career, though. Go back and watch. If I can find it, I will post it up where I watched it. Julian Edelman was talking about it. He was like, dude, I sucked. I should not have been in the league. I was doing everything I can. So it took him time to get there. He did not get drafted.
I think people go crazy when you talk about Sky Moore because they're not understanding exactly what we're saying. Like, we're not saying Sky Moore is a good player right now. He's not good in this offense. We're glad he's not playing right now. He just doesn't contribute.
Yeah, he's stuck.
But Sky Moore has a skill set that I think could be utilized somewhere, somehow. It might not be in Kansas City.
Right. I've said this before, Chief Kelce. Look at Chief Kelce. Joe Horn, 4 years with the Chiefs. He had 500 yards his best season, and then he goes to New Orleans and goes to 1,000. He goes to New Orleans, becomes Pro Bowler. He comes to New Orleans, and nobody even seen it. You've seen a little bit of flashes. He played with some bad quarterbacks in KC, but still, it can happen to anybody at any time. Like, so I don't think they give up on anybody in a rookie contract. He would have to do something really horrible for them to give up on him like that, I believe.
I saw someone talking about Twin Peaks and blackened fish tacos. I love fish tacos, by the way. I don't know, Mike, if you've ever ate a lot of fish tacos. Blackened fish tacos are delicious.
Oh, Chief Kelce.
Any Twin Peaks in Kentucky. I've not.
There's one.
There's one in Louisville, and I think one in Florence. If I'm not mistaken.
There's one in Louisville up here where I'm
area.
at. It's near the East End, like the rich neighborhoods. It's up in there.
Oh, we're by Oxmoor.
I don't think I've ever ate there though. Is it good? Is it worth going?
I don't know. We might have to check it out. I think there's another one I think we used to pass in Florence, which is basically Cincinnati, Kentucky. So, if that makes sense. This guy says Twin Peaks better than Hooters, Mike.
KY says, I thought Mike was going to say he recommends you get the bone in. Hey, look.
We see what you did there, KY.
Look, I do recommend boning, the bone-in wings. I don't recommend, but I like boneless wings. I know people's like, you're an adult. Yeah, I'm an adult. I shouldn't be eating boneless chicken nuggets, but I do like them because you're just a little bit, I'll eat a bone-in wing, but you're cleaner. It's a little clean. You use a fork.
At this point in my life, I'm not going to lie. I've sworn off boneless completely.
Whoa, you've sworn it off.
Yeah, I'm always going to go with the traditional, just
you don't care
bone-in wing.
That everything's just messy.
I don't even care.
Sometimes there's chunks of gristle, and there's not a lot of meat on those bad boys.
It is, just part of it.
Sometimes you accept
dry. The fact. No, they're not. No, if you get dry wings, you just get rid of them. You don't eat those. Don't go places that give you dry wings.
So don't go to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so we all do that one.
No, but yeah, it is messy. It's sticky. It's a thing, but it's worth it. It's worth it. The collateral damage.
Okay.
Why would I be compromising my masculinity by swearing off boneless wings? I feel like boneless wings is a very feminine thing. I think he is too. If he's not, then Andrew, I don't know what you mean.
But I'm going to tell you, I'll eat chicken. I don't care what form the chicken's in. Put it in a patty. Let me chase a chicken around
a rotisserie chicken. You like the rotisserie chickens?
I love rotisserie chicken. I'll eat chicken. I eat chicken probably 6 days a week. The only time I don't eat chicken is on pizza. And to be honest, I'll eat it with pepperoni on pizza. Grilled chicken and pepperoni pizza is great.
Grilled chicken is a very underrated pizza.
Grilled chicken's
topping.
Elite, baby.
It's like one of those things. You don't do it all the time. but it's a little secret.
Do you guys have any? Are there any? What's the name of that restaurant? Drake's. Steve, you know Drake's. They're in Kentucky. They're Lexington.
I think they're putting one up the road from me.
So yeah, Drake's has some of the best grilled chicken you've ever ate. Like you can literally get 2 grilled chicken fillets and like 2 sides.
Well,
for
they're
like
putting one in Elizabethtown, Mike, so you can go there and eat all you
Love
want.
it. If KC has any, go for it. Dude, you know what I miss though? I miss being able. I almost called you the other day and said, "Man, do you want to go grab a $50 ticket offline and go eat some barbecue and watch this playoff game?" But then I said, "Do I really want to sit in negative 10-degree weather?" And I don't know if I do. So
I don't. Are we old?
I would like
that?
Q39. I would like a little Jack Stack. I would like a little bit of slaps.
Yeah,
I'd like any of it. I'd like all of it.
I can go for any of it. I could even eat the burnt in sandwich from Gates right now. Like I would take any of it.
Oh yeah. KWL says, "Who are the refs?"
Well, yeah, I was just looking at that.
Asking.
KW. Did you figure it out? What do we got?
We got Brad Rogers.
Oh no.
What?
Is that the dude? That's the dude is that not the guy that missed the MVS call and then screwed
No.
The cat or the no?
That's not Brad Rogers. Brad Rogers, last time he did a Chiefs game was Cisco headhunting Juju Smith-Schuster in Jacksonville last year, where he picked the flag up and then allowed MVS to have a headshot the very next play. That's Brad Rogers.
You think that headshot's what done MVS in?
No. He didn't even.
No, either.
MVS has 2 reasons why he's done in. 1 and 2. He has none of these. This guy walks around like this. He tries to catch a football like this.
Oh, brick hands.
Good Lord.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking of Brad Allen. Rick. That's who I was thinking of.
Don't be Brad Allen.
Brad Allen. What was the guy's name that is doing our game?
Jeff Dunham. Brad
Rogers. So that wasn't far off, though.
Brad Rogers.
It did scare me for a second.
Does Brad Rogers, does that name kind of sound like a guy that would be like a superhero in a Marvel comic that nobody's ever heard of? Like here comes Brad Rogers.
To me, it sounds like a guy that you would work with that no one really likes, but he kind of thinks he's cool.
Really?
Oh, Brad Rogers over there.
Yeah, I could see that too. But if you remember, dude, Brad Rogers, he just kind of sounds like he would be a superhero. Wait, I know why I'm thinking that. Because Captain America was named Steve Rogers.
Oh, Steven.
That's his brother.
Brian didn't get Jack Stack because it was a 4-hour wait. My man, that sucks. It's worth it.
Hey,
you could have went and took a nap.
Wait, which Jack Stack did you go to that was there was a 4-hour wait? Probably the new one they built down there in the little like the little square district, with like all the shops and stuff.
I don't know.
Did you ever watch the Travis Kelce show where he tried to find love?
You talking about the
Catching
stupid
Kelce?
Show that everyone made fun of him for?
Yeah,
no,
did you watch that?
I watched it. No.
I watched it when it come out. And,
I remember you watching it. And I remember talking about it, but I never watched it.
I was cheering for him to pick Mark Schlereth's daughter. Okay? And if you don't know who Mark Schlereth is, he played for the Denver Broncos. But he has a daughter that went on that show. And her name was Avery. And I was so hoping Travis Kelce would pick Avery Schlereth so he could bang Mark Schlereth's daughter. That's all I wanted. I wanted him to bang a Denver Broncos daughter. That's all I wanted. But you know what else? He broke up with her on a bridge right outside of where they got that Jack Stack. So I go to that bridge every time I'm in KC and I commemorate that moment.
That he just broke her little heart right there.
Right there, baby.
Hey, Tony G says, fellas, do you guys have a feeling that we could make a run? Yes, I do. I really do. And it could be that sense of false hope or something. I don't know. Because, I mean, all year you've kind of been thinking every week, like, hey, they're going to come out of it this week. They're going to come out of it this week. Like, eventually we got to get this ball rolling. This is not the same guys that we've been watching. But I just do. I have the feeling that we can make a run in this playoffs. Now, if they were to get just bounced right off the get-go to the Dolphins, would I be super surprised?
No.
Probably not. But I do have like a little gut feeling that I think the Chiefs can really remind some people who they really are in this postseason.
Yeah, I think I don't count out Travis Kelce. I don't count out Patrick Mahomes. I don't count out Andy Reid. I'm not doing it. I have to see it to believe it. We've seen a lot of it this season, but it's not when it counted. So I have to see it when it counts. Like Steve said, we could get bounced by the Dolphins. It really wouldn't surprise me too much. If we got beat in the second or third round, it wouldn't surprise me that much. But it also wouldn't surprise me if we put together a 4-game run and get right back to the Super Bowl. And speaking of, Steve, did you know, let me bring this up really quick. I'm not even going to put it on the screen though, but did you know that Patrick Mahomes is at 10th all time on the NFL QB playoff passing yards list? He has 4,084 yards, and he only needs 427 yards to pass up, guess who? Dan Marino. Could he get that this game?
Man.
Poetic. Could he go 427 in one game? Not in the minus 10, right?
Haters that try to downplay Patrick Mahomes are the worst of the worst people. Like, this kid is unreal. Like, what he's been able to do so far and what he's going to continue to do is just, no one else has ever done it. No one else has been close. And I think it's crazy. So yeah, that's nuts, dude.
Right. Rouse said, was the Colts game y'all went to where Brandon Flowers laid out Andrew Luck? The one we were talking about was just a few years ago. It was back when we won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was.
Was it 2020?
Yes, 2019.
Yeah. So it was the 20. Yeah.
Yeah. Mike, do you remember? So that was the game. The game we were at, Riles, was the one where everyone was throwing snowballs onto the field, and it was like a big thing. You remember that?
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, they're throwing
was
snowballs."
Was that also the game that they brought in the Native Americans to do the war chant and get rid of the curse?
Yes.
Was that the same game? And they were singing war chants and like prayers to get rid of the curse.
To get rid of the Hank, was it the Hank Stram curse that they were?
Yeah,
like
it was some kind of curse they were getting rid of, man.
I don't remember, but they have.
It was
great. It might have been the same game. Also, do you remember before we were in the stadium, before they opened the gates, we were waiting by the gate.
We were launching snowballs.
We were throwing snowballs, whatever, just having some fun. But just a little tidbit backstory is I used to pitch. Like, I was a pitcher, like back when I played baseball.
Who's the son of a pitch?
And we were probably a good, I don't know, 40 or 50 yards from a news report, a live news report. And the guy had his back to us. And Mike was like, dude, I bet you can't hit that guy live, like on live TV, in the back with a snowball. And of course I did it. I did it on the first try. Just beamed him right in the back. And he was so mad.
Too.
Dude, he was so mad. That was
I don't know who it was.
Great shot. I had to blend in after that, though.
Hey, we got a message from Lambros here. You guys are doing great. The quality of info and thoughtfulness of your opinions is always high. Best of all, you have an enjoyable vibe that no other Chiefs channel can compete with. Stick with it, irrespective of the YouTube weather. You will prevail.
Appreciate that, Lambros.
Thanks for the gas, baby. He's gassing us up here.
He's gassing us up.
I
appreciate that. I like when people say nice things, you know?
Hey.
You get a lot of haters, but you don't get a lot of the good comments, and we appreciate that, Lambros.
And I appreciate you, Lambros.
Dude, let's answer even bigger, Mike.
Let's answer a few more, and then we got to call it a day, fellas. So if you've got another question or two, throw them in the chat really quick. We'll get at it. And while we're waiting for that, hit that like button again. We are at, let's see what the likes are at, baby. We're at 156 likes. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see if we can get that to like at least 175.
200. Let's get it closer to 200.
Let's go to 200.
I said just get it closer, you know.
Okay, I like it. Appreciate you guys watching with us. We're going to answer a few more if anybody throws it in the chat. If you don't throw them in there, then we'll just assume that nobody cares. And I probably don't.
No one cares what you have to say, Mike.
And I probably don't care.
No, I guess in a nutshell, though, like we'll be back. Are we going to be able to do a live tailgate? Because it's a Saturday night game, so.
Right. The tailgate would probably have to be Friday, or we could, it would probably have to be Friday night, and I work on Friday night, so.
We might not be able to. Let's just go ahead and say this. We normally do game predictions on the tailgate, but just in case we can't do a tailgate, can we just do some predictions off the top of our head right now? No thought about it.
Okay.
Just wing it.
It may change between now and then, but we can do it.
Yeah, like this is just first, just boom. What do you got?
I'm going to say the Chiefs win it. I'm going to go 24-21. I think it'll be closer than we think. I think 24-21, Butker again will kick a game-winning field goal, and the Chiefs will win this one. And I'll give player of the game to I think Mahomes will have a good day. I think he'll throw for 3 touchdowns.
I'm going to agree with that. I'm going to agree with Mahomes and 3 touchdowns. But I'm going to go ahead and say that the Chiefs are going to score 28. Maybe, we go the opposite of the straight Butker game and go straight just 4 touchdowns.
Wow.
Right. And I think that it's going to take a good amount of points to beat the Dolphins, because I think the Dolphins will put up at least the 21 mark. So I'm going to go 28-21. But our defense is pretty good, Mike. They might not even get that. So I will say this. I think if the Chiefs can put 28 on the board, it should be a solid W.
Right. The game. What time is the game on Saturday, Steve?
Mike,
why can't I think of this off the top of my head?
We're not prepared.
Look,
we're not
Peacock
prepared, Mike.
Chiefs. Let's just Google it. The game is going to be, who knows when the game is going to be.
8 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Central.
So 7 p.m. Central. Would it be possible to do an early morning tailgate on Saturday?
Maybe
like
we can get on here, guys.
Or
if we can make it happen, we'll do it. As long as you guys will come hang out, we'll try to figure it out.
Maybe early in the day, though.
Yeah,
because
we'll figure it out.
We plan on getting together and watching the game with Pops.
I don't think we can do it early in the day. I think I have work Saturday.
That kind of sucks. Well, if we can figure it out, we'll figure it out. If not, we may not get to. But hey, we'll get together after the game. We're going to talk about that win. We're going to talk about the
W. We're going to talk about going on to beat Buffalo in Buffalo. That's what we're probably going to be talking about. And it's going to happen. It shall come to pass. The Chiefs, think of this road that the Chiefs could take to really tell everybody, hey, you know what? Suck it.
Suck it.
We're still the best team in the NFL. We might have had a little rough patch here, but we're still the Chiefs. What if they knock off the Dolphins? What if they knock off the Bills? What if they knock off the Ravens and then knock off the 49ers and take the Super Bowl? That would be a gauntlet, and that would be a statement that says, hey, suck it. You forgot we are them.
You know what? I got 4 words for them. Everyone can suck it. That's what's up. Hey, by the way, though, they got footage today of Chris Jones arriving back in KC.
Did they?
Yeah, here it is.
Again,
he took a little mini celebration, for that 10.5 sacks. So he's back in KC now. He flew in today. Just going. But I think that's going to wrap it up for the day, man. We appreciate everybody being here, hanging out with us throughout the day. We appreciate you for hitting the like button. We appreciate you for hitting the sub button. Steve, do you have anything else for him?
I don't. Enjoy yourselves.
Short and sweet.
Have fun. If we don't get to talk to you before the game, enjoy the game. And let's freaking go Chiefs. And we out.
There goes a sight from my soul.